lifestyle-wise, they're very minimalist. That's the best way to describe it. Anytime people ask me how it was living over there, I mean, I had a good time, but it's very minimalist. We're spoiled over here in the U.S. And so having an agent is crucial. I mean, I know that sounds kind of dumb to say, but there are some guys that don't have agents. They want to do it on their own because it saves them money. But it's kind of like selling a house without a realtor. Work-life balance, not just with pro sports, but with anything, is huge. And especially with pro sports, even hockey, more so than I think others. But if I had to narrow it down to one thing, I'd say become a good student.
Welcome to the SPRTER Podcast.
Thank you very much. How's it going?
Very well. How about yourself?
It's good. It's good.
Where in the world am I catching you right now?
I'm in my home in Nashville right now.
Fantastic. Great. So let me introduce you to our audience and get to know you a little bit better before I delve into questions. We are speaking to Josh Kestner, who is an ice hockey player. Started his hockey career for the Sarnia Legionnaires before playing in college for the University of Alabama, Huntsville, and moving on to the pros, playing in Canada, the US, Russia, and Finland, which is pretty exciting. I really want to delve into that further. And he has been racked up an impressive 95 goals, 116 assists, also earned the ECHL All-Star Team selection, the ECHL Kelly Cup Championship, and MVP selection. And along with these accolades, let's delve into how it all started.
Yeah. I mean, where do you want to begin?
Well, how did you realize, hey, I'm actually good at this and I like it so much, I want to play college. I want to do this for a living.
Well, geez. So my dad's from Jackson, Michigan. So he grew up in like a big hockey background sort of deal. And my older brother started playing hockey. So I kind of wanted to follow in his footsteps, follow suit. And my dad's job ended up moving him to Alabama. So that's where we ended up. That's where I was born and where I was raised. And there was a certain point, and I couldn't even tell you. I don't really remember an exact age, but I want to say it was somewhere along the like 10 to 12, where I played soccer growing up too, and you kind of had to pick because they overran with each other. And I couldn't stand the heat in soccer. I hated being hot. So the other side, which was much cooler, was hockey. So I stuck with it, and obviously I'm still doing it today.
That sounds interesting. Now, your older brother, of the two of you, who is the better player?
I would hope me. He's not playing anymore, so I would hope I'm still. I hope I'm still the top of the leaderboard there.
Okay, so I hope so too. If
Yeah.
He's not playing anymore. Absolutely. Now, you said, well, you don't really know which point or what made that decision. Or is there a point when you're like, hey, I'm really good at this. I could go and play college. I could go and make this a career.
I really didn't know if I had to put it into an exact time frame of time period when I thought I could do this for a living. I would probably say my junior year of college. That's when I thought, at the beginning when I was playing, it was just, fun. It's keeps you out of trouble, good time with friends, lots of travel. It's a great time. But when you're young, you kind of, or at least unless you're, Connor McDavid or something like that, you kind of don't really have that in the back of your mind. So, and especially being in Alabama, hockey's not really the number one sport. So I just thought I'd play and enjoy it as long as I could. I wanted to get a scholarship to, go to college for free. And I ended up, obviously accomplishing that. But I struggled at my first 2 years in college. And once my junior year, I had a breakout season, I guess you could say. And from then on, I think that was where I guess I decided I wanted to pursue this professionally, if possible, after college was over with.
And that seems to have worked out very well. So you've played in Canada. You playing in Toronto for a while and then moved over to Europe. Walk us through that process.
Well, so I went to after my senior year of college, I signed with Toronto Marlies, an American League deal, and played very few games before I had shoulder surgery. So that was unfortunate. So the next season, they put me down in their farm team system with Newfoundland to kind of get acclimated, get better, and basically heal up as well. And so so I played a full season there. It was unbelievable, funnest, probably one of the funnest years I've had in hockey. We won it all. I've never won anything either, so that was a huge thing. My rookie season, winning it all, and it's an unbelievable town in St. John's over there. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then next season was a little bit bittersweet because I went to the Grand Rapids Griffins, signed with them, and then COVID hit. And because of COVID, 2020, because of COVID hit, and if you weren't in the NHL, or at least on an NHL deal, I believe, the minors was not playing because there was no money involved. There was no fans. There was nobody, no revenue coming in. So the next best thing to, get a paycheck was to go overseas. And that's how I landed in TPS with Finland.
And that, I mean, COVID's screwed over a lot of people and a lot of athletes. And we've talked to athletes and we're like, well, I needed to make some money, and like this was close, so moving over to Turku.
Yep, you got
Turku in Finland. And what's the difference playing hockey over here versus in Finland? Because Finland is it's a powerhouse in hockey, but are there differences, and what is different over there?
I guess lifestyle-wise, they're very minimalist. That's the best way to describe it. Anytime people ask me how it was living over there, I mean, I had a good time, but it's very minimalist. We're spoiled over here in the U.S., and I love that. I love being spoiled, but like going to the grocery store, you got 20 different options of everything, of cereal, milk, I mean, just you name it. There's just a million different options. Over there, they got very, very few options, and they're always much healthier. Like I said, we're spoiled here in the U.S. We like the junk food, all that stuff. So that was tough to get used to. Hockey side of it, they're very, very defensive. They're defense first versus offense, and a lot of those scores are 1-0, 2-1, maybe 3-2. So it's very hot, or very soccer style, very low score. Whereas in the U.S., everyone likes everything exciting and lots of goals, very offensive. And so that was the biggest eye opener to me going there. Was I was used to run and gun hockey, pucks in and start, putting some numbers up on the board. And there, if you scored a goal, you played defense for the rest of the game. So it's very, very cutthroat on the D side.
Okay. So very tactical, and I'm sure the coaches love that, as in a 1-0, as I know from soccer, a dirty 1-0, and you love it as a coach. Whereas as a player, you want like a 5-4 is so much more exciting.
It's more fun to play. It's more exciting. It's not so repetitive out there. You're not playing the same routine every shift, every single period. So, I mean, it makes sense because soccer's the main sport in Europe, so it would make sense that hockey kind of follows that. And so it was just tough to get used to, and it still is till today. It's an eye opener to get used to that when I play all summer here in the States, and then I go over there and it's just flip flop 180.
Is that, do you need to adjust some of your style of play, not just not just go in for it, but are there some style of play adjustments for that as well?
I think so. I think it just comes down to how the team plays, how your teammates play, what your coaches want you to do. I think a lot of it isn't necessarily how you react to what's going to happen. I think it's kind of like you just mentioned. It's very tactical. If this happens, you do this. If this happens, you do this. It's like joystick hockey. You have positions and you don't stray away. And like I said, it's very repetitive, but at least you know your job while you're on the ice.
And that's very fair as well. Now, you mentioned the minimalistic lifestyle or not having, call it, as much abundance as in the US and Finland. How has that changed, moving over to Russia, then moving back? What influenced those decisions?
Like going over to Russia from Finland.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of there's a few things. I think there's a monetary upside to that as well. Going to Russia, it's considered a better league, a more skillful league. I think a lot of players, that's kind of one of their, I guess, goals. If that and Switzerland are kind of their goals to go over, in at least in Europe wise. It's like I said, just that competitive nature where you want to play against the best you can. And there's some good players. There's some great players in Finland too. My God, I had teammates, line mates that are playing here in Nashville for the Predators that are unbelievable players. And but as a league as a whole, that was the goal, to go to Russia. And then once again, another thing happened. The war broke out, and so that was kind of my answer to not go back. So it's kind of, I went back to where I was comfortable, which was Finland, and now I'm looking for a new chapter in my life, new opportunity here for this upcoming year.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's we've seen a lot of athletes that have been impacted by the war as well, as in making that decision of not going back, or being strongly advised not to go back. And we've seen some athletes, I would definitely want to stay away from that political side.
The wife has a big say in it too, so I don't think she'd let me go back over there even if I wanted. So just play it safe and find somewhere else to play.
That makes a lot of sense. I saw on Instagram that you recently announced you're going to have a baby girl.
I have a baby girl. Oh, yep. She's due in November. And my wife, I think she's 23 weeks, 22 or 23 weeks. But yeah, very excited, very new, very scared at the same time, but it's exciting for us. Not really sure, they don't really give you a manual when you walk out of there with a baby. So it'll be exciting to say the least.
That sounds very exciting. Congratulations as well. And I'm sure that has contributed to that decision, as in, hey, we're not going to do this.
Correct. A big part of that was the baby, for sure.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, are you with the baby and with the lady here, is that something where you say, hey, maybe Europe maybe that's a chapter in the past, I'm looking for opportunities over here, or are they interested to potentially come along?
Yeah, they come back. Well, the baby would be coming as well this year. But yes, my wife Maggie, she'll be coming this year as well. I've actually signed for a new team for this upcoming year, but I will wait till that is announced by them. It should be very soon. But I'm going back to Europe, so it'll be another team. But yeah, I'm excited, and they'll be coming with. Like I said, I leave very shortly, in a few weeks actually, to head over there. So yeah, interesting and fun times ahead, I hope.
That's very exciting, and congratulations on the signing of the new team. One of our SPRTER members in our Chief Executive and Chief Operations Officer, he's based in Helsinki. So if you run into him over there, I'll make sure to connect you guys.
Please, absolutely. Now,
I'm based in Philadelphia, but originally from Europe.
I was just say you got some Euro tongue.
It's a weird mishmash, yes. No, they definitely got to make sure to connect you. So it sounds like a really exciting opportunity. Now, having played in that many countries, you talked about some of the differences, and it seems like you're not scared of moving abroad. Have you learned Finnish yet?
I mean, I know very few words. I mean, very few, and just enough to get by, like thank you, you're welcome, and stuff like that. But by no means am I conversational in Finnish or Russian, either of them. Not at all. I wish I wish I learned a little bit more and got, better at it. But once again, being an American, we're spoiled. So I English, and that's all I'm looking forward to talking to right now. But it would have been nice to have a good conversation with teammates and finish, but I wasn't even close. Wasn't even close.
Fair enough. And I know that the Finns speak English pretty well in general, so that's generally helpful. Now, is there some general advice you would have for someone who says, "Hey, what Josh did sounds awesome. I want to go and play abroad. I want to go to Europe." How do they go about that?
Um, I, it depends on where you want to go, I think, as a start. But I think I know having an agent is crucial. I mean, I know that sounds kind of dumb to say, but there are some guys that don't have agents. They want to do it on their own, because it saves them money. But it's kind of like selling a house without a realtor. Could you do it? You can do it, but it's a lot harder, and you'll save money. But at the same time, if you don't know exactly what you're doing, it can cost you money as well. So I think getting an agent, a good European agent that knows his leagues, knows where a good spot for you to play, know what coaches you'd play well under, is a great start. And also what kind of style you want to play. Like I just mentioned, like Finland's a very defensive league. Sweden's a very defensive league. Germany's a more offensive league than it is the Finnish and Swede. So I guess knowing your style and what makes you tick and how you want to contribute is a big one. But I'd highly advise it. Europe's a lot of fun. It's great times. I imagine the wife or girlfriend, if you have one, would love it too. It's a nice vacation for them for 6, 7, 8, 9 months of the year. But yeah, I highly encourage it.
That's great advice. We'll definitely pass that on. Now, I also know that you are big into, I mean, you got the fish in your background, you're into hunting. Some of your, I guess, sports and hobbies, you share some of that personal life. How much does that away from the sport and doing something else, how much does that contribute to, say, overall happiness and balance? And we're talking about work-life balance, and like you're always under stress as a professional athlete. How much can you decompress?
It's almost everything. A lot of people that aren't pro athletes yet, or are soon to be, or even collegiate athletes that are very competitive. I think a work-life balance, not just with pro sports, but with anything, is huge. And especially with pro sports, even hockey, more so than I think others, but is 90% mental, 10% physical. I think if you're not happy, you're not playing well. That cliche saying, look good, feel good, play good, is very true. So if you don't look good and you don't feel good and you're not in the right headspace, I think it makes a huge difference. So having outlets outside of that, I love to golf, I love to hunt, love to fish. My wife actually caught that one behind me, but yeah.
Wait, is it real fish?
Well, it was, yeah. She caught that on our honeymoon. So, but yeah, so it's I think having outlets outside of hockey is massive. Something to let your mind go, let loose, and like you just said, decompress is huge. Just making it so that every single day you're not doing the same repetitive thing. For the sport, you got to have that family, and now I have a family coming. With the baby on the way, it's gonna be a different element to it all.
Well, I've been told it's a game changer. Usually it means less sleep. So
yeah, that's what I've been told, but we'll see firsthand here in a few months.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. Now, you're in the off season right now, and we actually just got a question, and you look swole, as we've been told. And what's your training routine? Jared Cap, question for Job. What's your workout routine?
He's somebody I work out with here. He's
all right.
my workout partner.
But in all honesty, what does an off season look like for you in terms of staying fit, in terms of finding that balance, as in I need to work out, I don't want to completely overdo it. Where do you find that balance, and how does a training season look during the off season?
Well, it's a short off season, especially playing overseas, because you play for 9 months, and depending on how far you go in playoffs, it could be even shorter. So, I leave in a few weeks, and I got home in, end of April, but you take a few weeks off completely. So, I mean, I'll be probably training 12 weeks this summer. So it's a short off season, very short off season. But a normal training day is usually Monday through Friday with, workouts I have a trainer, workouts in the morning, skates after that. And that's usually 4 days a week. One of those more being a maintenance day, kind of like stretching or yoga or something along those lines. And then weekends I have off. That's usually where I do something to stay somewhat active. I don't like to just sit on the couch, but play golf or, tennis, anything that keeps me, on my feet. But that's a typical training summer for me. At least recently, these past few years playing in Europe.
That sounds interesting. Now, you mentioned golf. I know a lot of hockey players have an absolute weapon of an arm when it comes to golf. How would you describe your strength in short game or long game here?
Oh yeah, you nailed it right on the head. It's long game. I can smack it, but I can't. My putting, chipping, all those are just not good. Not good. 150 in is terrible. From the tee box, different story, but it's still, like I said, it's a lot of fun, and it's nice to get away from the game of hockey every once in a while. And golf is, you're competing against yourself more so than anybody else.
That is also what we see a lot of athletes have, like that mindset, as in it's really therapeutic because you don't have that competition, but it can also really screw your head.
Yes. Make you want to throw a club or really, really in your head. But it's a lot of fun. And like you just said, it's just stress reducing for the most part. For the most part.
And can be very stress inducing sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
No, I can see that. No, we get quite a few comments coming through where fans they're asking for a GPS comeback or asking you to stay in Rauma. So seemed like the fans really enjoyed having you there or having you play for their specific clubs, and connecting with fans. What does that mean to you as a professional athlete?
I think it's awesome. I know that the bigger you get, like there's guys, and I know it comes with the territory, but when I was a kid growing up and I saw my idol playing, I always wanted to talk to him, get his autograph, and I would say a majority of them were great with it. But then you get the one, that outlier that kind of snubs a kid and stuff. So obviously I didn't have any idea I was going to go pro at 6 years old, but now that I am and I have fans, it's a good feeling because I never want to be that guy that snubs someone. So if anyone asks for a picture or an autograph, I'm always there to do it. And I see him as well, asking about Rauma and TPS, and they were awesome fans in both those places. Very passionate. They, I went to Rauma and there were fans, booing me from TPS. So it's very cutthroat over there, but I love it. That means they're passionate. They love their team. They love their players. And it's very special. But I think having that mentality where you don't really shove somebody off thinking you're better than somebody is pretty important to me.
I think that's a really good mindset to have, and seeing the importance of a role model, and then also being able to give back once you are at that level. It's awesome. We love to see it.
Exactly.
And when you just said they're booing you, it's probably, you generally don't boo an athlete that you want off the roster. You boo an athlete who's broken your heart because they left and you want them back on the roster.
Ideally, yeah. I can see how they're upset about it, as well they should. And, as I mentioned, they're passionate and they love their players, and their organization is a good club. So going to Rauma from Turku was definitely heartbreaking for more than just me, for the fans as well.
That's fair. But good thing is they have an opportunity to connect with you via the SPRTER app. So anyone who's listening, head over to the SPRTER app, check out Josh's experience store. He's got some pretty awesome experiences set up there. So there is an opportunity to still connect with Josh now as well.
Absolutely. SPRTER app. Sorry, SPRTER.
SPRTER. The O is.
Oh, I always pronounce it SPRTER, not SPORTER.
We got to do a better job on making sure that's yeah.
So it's on me.
No, definitely on us over here. But yeah, it's definitely something that we love fostering, and that interaction with the fans, and seeing how athletes are connecting with their fans and being that role model and giving back. I think it's pretty awesome.
I agree, and that's something I stand behind. And I know after my playing days are over, I'd still like to do something along the lines of coaching or scouting or anything in that realm, just to give back. I know when my kids are growing up, I'd like to do the same with them, coaching them just like my dad coached me in hockey. So, yeah, I think that's important.
That sounds like a really good long-term goal. But what are the rest of the short-term goals, or for the rest of 2023 looking for you?
Jeez. I want to stay healthy. I want to stay in the game as much as possible. I'm 29, so I definitely have lots of good hockey left, but I think staying healthy and staying competitive, especially with the leagues nowadays getting younger and younger, that's my goal, is to still be in it and able to compete every single day.
Yeah, that's a good goal, and obviously you mentioned early on when you talked about the stretching and the yoga and all of those type of things. I think it's important to really look out for your body during those times, particularly during the off season as well.
Oh, more so in the off season. That's your time to regroup and reset, and really take the time to get your body right with your trainers, your physical therapists, everything, all those behind the scenes people that help you off the ice in order to do your job on the ice.
And during the season, just following up on that, during the season you have that access, you have that professional network around you, you have a physio. I would assume you have a physio and going through all of that.
Yep,
right?
they're unsung heroes. They really are. They don't get as much recognition as they should, but as I mentioned, the massage therapists, the trainers, the coaches, all the staff that I guess don't really get I guess coaches do, but more so the people that take care of your body are so vital to the game. Like mental coaches even play a role that they have. So those people just really know how to get the most out of their players, and they don't get enough recognition for sure.
And it's something that we generally, oftentimes athletes take for granted during the season, and then you realize during the off season when you don't have access to that, you're like, where is my massage there?
Actually, you don't really think about them until you need them, and then when you need them, then you're upset that you don't have them. It's very rewarding to have those players in your corner, or those guys in your corner, helping you get the best out of you.
Yeah, I fully agree, and hopefully the rest of the off season is treating you well. You're staying healthy, happy, and on the ice. And good luck with the the arrival of your daughter.
Thank you.
I won't let you go though without asking you about the one thing that you would recommend for the next generation of hockey players.
That's a very loaded question. If I had to narrow it down to one thing, I'd say become a good student. I think that's the best and I don't mean in the classroom. I mean, watch how things are done. Watch how the generation before you handles themselves. I know as a kid, and I'm fortunate and blessed enough that I feel like I did a good job at doing that. Other kids do better. But I think knowing, there's players that you look up to for a reason, and they're in the place where they are for a reason. And I think if you follow suit, make the right decisions, and you are educated in everything that they do that got them there, I think that's huge. And I think it just goes back to what I just said, is be a good student. Really watch and learn how they handle themselves off the ice, how they handle themselves, or in any sport. I'm talking hockey related, but how they handle themselves and how they, even dress, go to the rink. That's big in hockey. Hockey players, usually wear a suit to the game. So just the little details that differentiate, a collegiate player from a pro player, from a junior player to a, youth player, all those make a difference. And I think the best advice I can say is be a good student, really learn.
That's awesome advice. I could not agree more with that. So being a good student, and hopefully there's lots of hockey players that are following that advice. Will definitely pass it on. Thank you so much for joining us on the SPRTER podcast. We're definitely going to make sure to link you out, follow along on all of the socials for our fans out here. Check out Josh's career, all of the socials, also on the SPRTER app. Head over there for some really cool, unique experiences with Josh. And good luck for the rest of 2023.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Likewise. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.